car crash. He will defend his title against one of the best welterweights in the world in Danny Garcia. And with that, we welcome in the great Errol Spence Jr. to First Take. Errol, you know what they say, you can't have a comeback if you don't have a setback. I know it's been a crazy past year for you, and you have a big weekend ahead. So what's been the toughest challenge for you as you prepare to return to the ring?
For me, just staying focused, training, losing the weight, and just being 100% on point. I think me and my coach been working since probably July. So, we've been grinding, working hard, trying to get back, staying 100% focused. I'm 100% ready for December 5th, Saturday night.
Errol, thank you for being on the show. First of all, I want to say I'm thankful and I'm grateful that you're okay, because that was a nasty-looking car crash that you got yourself into, and we understand the trouble that came from that. I want to know what your health situation is like, because, to me, I know you walked away, you had a bloody eye and some scars on your face, but that seemed to be all. My first thing is, how healthy are you?
I'm 100% healthy. Like I said, I went to the clinic and they got checked out and went to the hospital. They did all type of exams on me and MRIs and everything. They didn't see any brain swelling or anything. Had me do reaction tests and everything. And I passed them with flying colors. So they gave me the cue to continue boxing. So that's the first thing, was my health, to make sure I was good and everything checked out straight. I was going to the gym, I was training. Then I started sparring in September. I started sparring in September. I looked great. And, then we got a fight lined up with Danny Garcia. So everything been going, pretty much as scheduled. It was just a blessing that, I'm able to continue my career so early and, come back so early, a little less over than a year.
For those mainstream sports fans who don't know, Errol Spence is considered one of the real special fighters in boxing. Tall, rangy, a southpaw, can beat you with his jab and defense. Ask Mikey Garcia, but doesn't look to do that, looks to punish the opponent, knockout power. You have it all. You're a complete fighter, Errol. But Danny Garcia, is also a very good fighter.
Yes, he is.
He has one close loss, very close loss to Keith Thurman, one wider loss to Sean Porter, but Sean Porter gave you everything you wanted. That was a fight of the year type fight. I thought you won because of the knockdown late, which he got up from, but that was nip and tuck the whole way. How do you plan, after this kind of accident, coming back from that, to actually beat Danny Garcia? What's the game plan?
Well, first of all, I thought, I could have beat Sean Porter easy on the outside like I did Mikey Garcia. But, my whole game plan was a Sean Porter fight, even sitting in training camp. I wanted to fight. I wanted to show people that I can beat him on the inside. So that's what I did. Even with Mikey Garcia, I wanted to show people that I can box, because people said that he had better boxing IQ than me. So I showed people I can box. And with this fight, I'm just going to show everybody that, I'm just all around just a better fighter. On the inside, outside, with the jab, combination, hooks, whatever you want to do in the ring, I can do better than Danny Garcia. He's a great fighter, iron chin, very tough. But I don't think, even if I was at 70%, Danny Garcia couldn't beat me.
It's interesting that you say that. Listen, I like Danny Garcia a lot. He's 36-2. His only two losses were to Keith Thurman and to Sean Porter, just like Max pointed out. But I had you as my top pound for pound, top 2 pound for pound in the world. But Terrence Crawford has ascended, and I know you're not looking ahead because you're smart enough not to look past anybody, and you got to handle your business first. But there are a lot of people, Max included, I don't think I'm stepping out of turn speaking for him here, when we talk about a fight that we desperately want. It is Errol Spence Jr. versus Terrence Crawford.
Number one fight
and you got Terrence Crawford talking about everybody running from him. Nobody want to give him those fights. What do you have to say about that?
Really nothing to say about it. Nobody's running from Terrence Crawford. Like I said, I'm coming off a car accident and I had to fight Danny Garcia. Somebody would have picked the tune up, but I'm fighting Danny Garcia, so I got to get past him to even think about somebody else. So once I get past Danny Garcia, y'all can ask me questions about Terrence Crawford.
Well, Errol, the reason I think people bring up Crawford is because in the history of boxing, almost never have there been two undefeated boxer punchers who were both elite pound for pound in or around their best weight division in their primes, where it's like a 50-50 fight. So that, to me, that's the best fight in boxing in years that can be made. So with apologies, because I know you got to deal with Danny, but you were the one who came on and said anything he could do, I could do better. So if you indulge us just for 1 second, is the idea that because in the PBC where you are, you guys have all these welterweights, you can fight each other, make money like you're about to against Danny Garcia, that you're waiting out Terrence, see if his contract lapses and he crosses the street and goes with you guys and then fight him? Or do you think you would fight him? Are you interested as a fighter, as a champion, in seeing who the best dude is like Sugar Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns once did, whether or not he's with the PBC?
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in fighting Terrence Crawford. I think it's a great fight. You know, he has a world title. I want to be undisputed welterweight champion of the world, like I said. So I feel like we're gonna have to cross that path soon. But, you know, my main goal is Danny Garcia on Fox pay-per-view. And, you know, I feel like, you know, that's the biggest fight for me right now at this point, especially coming from my car crash. So I have to get him out the way to even think about somebody else. So my 100%, you know, focus is on Danny Garcia right now. And then after that, we can talk about other opponents.
When you think about Danny Garcia, I brought up the fact that he's 36-2. I think he's an exceptional fighter. Obviously, he takes a punch. He has not been knocked out. The brother can fight. When you talk about fighting him, how big of a fight do you think this is for you in terms of how it could potentially catapult you in the mind's eye? Do you think you're already where you want to be, or do you feel like you still have so much to prove because you've been underappreciated and winning this fight could go a long way towards accomplishing a significant cachet for yourself?
I definitely have so more to prove. I mean, Danny Garcia, like I said, you know, his resume, especially at 140, is great. He was unified champion, things like that. I mean, he's a great fighter. And I feel like nobody has really just beat him decisively and really, you know, put a hurting on him or just, you know, punish him. So for me to do that, you know, that would, you know, speak volumes, especially coming off, you know, years from training layoff. So that's what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to, you know, have this one-sided, you know, beating, especially in my hometown.
Errol, sometimes when fighters talk about they were trying to do X or Y or Z in a fight, it's excuse making because the performance wasn't great. But in your case, I believe what you're saying. You against Kell Brook in England, you walked him down out and were the boxer puncher and beat him up and knocked him out in a terrific fight. Against Mikey Garcia, it seemed clear to me you wanted to beat him on the jab and defense, and that's what you did. You were criticized for not knocking him out, but I actually thought it was a brilliant performance, and you did prove that point. Are you saying now that is the goal in this fight, to prove against Danny Garcia that you can go back to the fighter after the car crash that can beat you up, punish you, and knock you out worse than anyone else has done it? That you are using this as a measuring stick, you know, Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, and that is the point of this fight. Because if you say that, I'll believe you're going to do what you say you're going to do.
Well, first of all, you can exclude out Keith Thurman. That is not going to happen. And secondly, of course, man, you know, I want to make, you know, I just want everybody's been doubting me. Everybody's been saying, is he going to be a shell of himself? Is he the same fighter? And I'm a realist. I'm a real person. I feel like, you know, people should be saying that, because if I seen the car accident, you know, I'm from the outside looking in, I'll say the same thing. So for me, I just want to put on a great performance, a great show, and show people that, man, he's still beating guys up, punishing them, and just, you know, making them quit mentally and physically. So for me, I'm just going to, you know, try to put a beating on Danny Garcia and make it the worst beating that he ever had in his boxing career.
Really?
All right. How's that for a final statement?
Okay.
Errol,
right.
Thank you so much. You know, we wish you the best of luck this weekend defending your title against Danny Garcia in Dallas, Texas. We're so happy to see you ready to go. Also, happy to see you healthy. So thank you so much.